Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years In, Volume 2, Part 9. On my crackhead update, I was out this morning drinking my cup of coffee, and up walked Betty Boo, alone. She had walked from the Good Haven apartment. She just roaming around. The bird man, he don't let her move in. You know, that used to be his ex-wife. And she went 40 south on me. I was standing back there by my car, so she came on down the driveway, and I told her, I said, "Yeah, you looking good this morning." She said, "Yeah, I need some of that thing." I said, "Well, you're a married woman." She said, "No, I'm the queen of Dallas. Everybody know it. I'm the queen of Dallas. I run Dallas." Man, she raised up her little skirt. Boy, she went to working on that thing. Sounded like her hand was in a bathtub. Boy, I'm talking about it was wet. I say, "Miss Betty Boo, you need to stop doing that." She said, "Oh, don't call me Miss Betty Boo. That make me feel so unnecessary. Don't call me that." She was working. She said, "See, look, it's wet. It's wet. He ain't did nothing yet. He full of that crack. All he did was eat me out. That's all he did. He been eating since I moved in with him. I took me a good bath and a hot shower, and he went to eat." I said, "Why he can't do nothing?" She said, "That straight drop got him. He can't do nothing." She said, "Lord, I need something." Boy, she was working. She sit there and work. She sit down in the driveway. Boy, she was working. I was looking at her. She said, "You see that man in the boat? He's standing tall." Boy, she said, "I need you bad." I said, "Ain't nothing I can do." She said, "I will suck the soul out of you." I said, "All right, Miss Betty Boo." I said, "Where you headed?" She said, "Oh, I'm just out roaming around." So I gave her $5, man. She wanted to do the food with me. I can't mess with Betty Boo like that. Anyway, on to a more serious note. This is about Edwin Debrow, convicted of murder at age 12. Edwin Debrow finally walks free. He renounced his violent San Antonio childhood doing 28 years behind bars. A new life and new love awaited him outside the prison gates. On a Tuesday morning, guards led 40-year-old Edwin Debrow into a small room at the Carroll S. Vance Unit, a state prison just outside of Houston. The convicted killer took off his white inmate's uniform and put on a new pair of blue jeans, new white socks, a new pair of Nike Air Max, and a light blue shirt that read, "Edwin Debrow, free to be me." "I'm ready," he said, a grin slicing across his face. "I am so ready." The last time Debrow had been in civilian clothes, as he called them, was September 27, 1991, nearly 28 years ago. He was then 12 years old, only 4 feet 8 inches tall. That day he was wearing an unwashed t-shirt, basketball shorts that came down to his knees, and unlaced tennis shoes. And he was hanging out in the living room of his mother's meager San Antonio apartment. There was a knock on the door. Homicide detectives walked in and arrested him for murder, claiming he had shot a taxi driver named Curtis Edwards in the back of the head a few nights earlier during an attempted robbery. Almost overnight, Edwin became Texas' most notorious criminal. People were stunned that such a small child could have committed such a cold-blooded killing. At his juvenile court trial, his feet barely touched the floor as he sat at the defense table. He received a 27-year sentence for murdering Edwards. For 5 years, he was incarcerated in various Texas Youth Commission juvenile prison. At age 17, he was transferred into the state's adult prison system, which included some of the harshest correctional facilities in the country. Debrow grew up in the projects of San Antonio's east side, where his life was marked by poverty and neglect, drugs and gangs, knifings and gunfire. He was unquestionably a violent boy, known around his neighborhood as Baby Gangster. At the state schools following his murder conviction, he viciously fought guards and other teenagers. He kept fighting, at least for a few years, in the state prison, even stabbing another inmate with a shank. By his mid-20s, however, after a decade behind bars, Debrow started changing. He renounced his prison gang membership, earned his GED, took junior college classes in computer science and business administration, read self-empowerment books, and wrote an autobiography. He also became a jailhouse lawyer. He got his conviction overturned, and at the retrial, the prosecutor persuaded the jury to add an additional 13 years to the 28-year sentence. Yeah. On his way out of the Vance unit, one inmate shouted out the window, "Free at last. Thank God Almighty. Free at last." Debrow shouted back, "It's your turn next." Where he's living, he met a lady through a pen pal, and he paroled to her house. That's what I'm talking about, positive change. You know, if I notice all the other guys be on YouTube and guess, ain't none can say nothing positive they did in prison. They can tell you about all the riots and all the other bullshit. Okay, what did you do for self-empowerment to make yourself better? I never hear none of them speak on that. And just think of a kid 12 years old. And, you know, he probably didn't have that much guidance in prison because he was so young. He going to be at a prison where a lot of young guys is. He's not going to be around older guys. So his subconscious got the best of him and told him, hey, this is not the way to do your time. You know, once you did so much in prison, you just get tired of it. You done did a lot of things. You've been to solitary, you've been to SEG, you've been to all that crap. Still ain't changing nothing. You're still not going home. That's the ultimate goal, is to get released. And the parole board kept denying him, and his supporters on the outside hired him a parole lawyer. And he was able to make parole, but still he had to complete an 18-month course at the Vance unit, interchanges behavioral course. It's 18 months long. If you miss one day of class, or if you late too many times, they kick you out of that class and send you back to your prison unit. So you must complete the class in order to be released. Your parole date is set upon completion of the class. What would you recommend if you was a prosecutor? A 12-year-old kid shot a guy and killed him in an attempted robbery. What would you recommend for punishment for this kid? Can't just receive a slap on the hand. You know, I guess his mom was trying to raise a man, because he running the streets and everything. I can just imagine, I can look around Dallas and see how it is. You see kids roaming out here at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. They still hanging out. You can go downtown. There's some of them still walking around. So I'd be saying, man, it's like that will be at home getting ready to prepare for school the next day. But it's a new world now, and females are so young when they have kids. They got to, you got to have a guy bringing more to the table than just sex. Even though it takes two to make a kid, 90% of the time the mother is going to have custody and be stuck with the kid. And you got an uneducated mother who ain't got no job skills, no nothing. All she going to do is lay up and live off the sister. likewise, the kid gonna be raised poor. I remember standing in the West End one day and looking at the South Dallas bus pull up, 11 Bear Street. That's the South. That's one of the South Dallas buses. And I had some new Jordans on, not expensive ones like I got on right now, but they were Jordans. I got expensive ones now. And a little kid, 12 or 13, he got off the bus. He was just looking. They know all the name brand merchandise. They know about it. I saw that little kid just looking at my Jordan. He just looking. I can just see the mean mug on his face. He was saying, man, he got on some old dirty tennis shoes. I mean, people obsessed with material things. And I can understand that. People live in America. You're not living no American dream. You live in a nightmare. But this is a materialistic world. And not necessarily being materialistic, but you want some of the better things out of life. You know, person want to, at one point in his life, to enjoy life. Be poor your whole life. You're on the government dole all the time. You're on food stamp. You Section 8 housing. You got to live wherever housing send you. That's where you got to live at. You know, and that make a lot of kids bad. I talked to a young girl once before, and she said, "Hey man, I'll sell sex for you, man. If you give me a place to live, you got a car and everything." I told her, I said, "Save. Man, you was a young girl, man." I said, "There's no way." I said, "Don't you know they would throw me under prison?" I said, "I would get a federal case and a state case." I said, "Man, you is too young for that life." But I know if she kept proposition guys, somebody was going to take her up on it. And that's pitiful. Seems like it shouldn't be no homeless in America. The land of the rich and all these homeless people roaming around. You know, a lot of them got mental illness. And I got to, you know, some of them is on the streets voluntarily. They get government assistance. They can easily go get put on housing and get a place to live. They don't want responsibility. They don't want to pay electric bill or cable or pay rent. That's taken away from their drug or the alcohol thing. A lot of the old guys you see out here, all those dudes getting government assistance. I guarantee that. You see an old man limping with a walking cane, he's getting a check every month. Ain't no ifs and probability about it. He's receiving some government assistance, but he'd rather sleep on the streets. You know, it changes at home, but you got to have somebody at the house to initiate the change. You got a mental retarded mother. All she knows is she running through guys like it's Walmart. And the only reason guys mess with her, some of these old ugly BBW chicks, is because they're easy. Start making demands on that guy and see don't he run for the border. Start telling him, hey, I want to get me this house out, this apartment out there in Los Colinas. It's $2,400 a month. And I saw this BMW at the dealership. It's being used, but it's certified. And I want that BMW. It costs $50,000. And see don't he run for the border. Start making demands on him. He's out of there. He ain't finna spend nothing on you. Only reason he deal with you because you are easy. You know how to polish that knob real good, and you think that's gonna hold the man. When there's plenty more around just like you. He leave you, he on to the next one. And it's something to ponder on. You sending a guy that young to prison, but you gotta do something to him. Can't just let him go. He's gonna do it again. No ifs and probability about it. He's gonna say, well, I beat the system and nothing happened to him. You gotta shock his conscience. And this guy, his conscience was shocked. He said, the hell with all this gang shit. He renounced it. And that's bad when you see a 40, 50-year-old man walk around here sagging, talking about he's a gang member. You's a fucking idiot. That's what you is. A straight idiot. If your if that's all you got for a mindset, you pathetic. You don't even have the makings of an adult. You are a 12-year-old trapped inside of a man's body. The only thing is deadly consequences. Because these clowns will put you 6 feet under. And they always, if it's something big jump off, they always snitch. They always do it. No guy's not going to take life in prison or the death penalty. Even sometimes when they snitch, you can look at the first 48. Look how those guys snitch. On live TV, they snitch. They know that's being recorded. It's not secret, and they still snitch. Now he'll get in prison and play the tough guy. Because in Texas, no paperwork is checked. Nobody checks your paperwork. A guy judges you on how you perform in that prison. He ain't judging you on what you did on the outside. It's what you do on the inside. That record on the outside don't count. If you're supposed to be a hell of a gangster on the outside, they expect you to be a hell of a gangster in the inside. And all the time, it don't work that way. Just like you'll do the fool, so another guy standing there, he'll send you to the morgue likewise. He reciprocates. And in prison, you can kill a guy anytime you choose. You really can't stop it from happening. Anytime he chooses to kill you, you can. Because you're human, you got to sleep, you got to go in the shower, you got to turn your back, and that's when you get attacked. Ain't like he going to walk up and challenge you like it's a gunfight. That ain't happening. It's by any means necessary. And I'm proud of some guy like this to make a change. He did something positive in prison. He got tired of playing all the little games. That's where I was. I got tired of it. I did it so much, even though when I changed, I still smuggled in contraband, but I took myself off of Front Street. I had another guy, he sell those phones and sell that tobacco for me, and sell weed for me. I just get it in. He never touches my hand. All I do is see the money. I took myself off of Front Street. I even stopped socializing with guys. If I didn't know you in prison from way back in the day, I didn't have nothing to do with you. If you can't talk to me, sure, I'll respond. But me initiating the conversation with you, I wouldn't even play chess with you. I won't have nothing to do with you at all. I know I'm doing good according to prison standards. What I'm doing, you wish you could do. And I wasn't going to let them blow my spot up. So I really was antisocial. And I remember once they put a little young guy in the cell with me. He went and got moved. He said, man, I don't know why they put me in the cell with you. But he saw I had a big boom box. He said, man, that's a big stereo you got. I said, yeah. And it don't play no rap music. Right then, he ain't going to be able to listen to that 97 The Box on my stereo. That ain't happening. And so he went and got moved. When he called Chow, he went and got moved. Because technically, he's not supposed to have been in the cell with me. He was 19 years old. He wasn't supposed to be in the cell with me. But it is what it is. Let me know in the comment section what you would have did with Edwin Debrow if you was a trial official. If you could play a role in his punishment. What punishment would you assess? He's living in Missouri City, right outside of Houston. And he met this chick. He living at her house, and he's doing good for himself. He got 13 more years on parole. I missed it at the opening. Y'all can see I got me a poster. You already know what it is. You see it in my hand. Let's get ready to ride at a moment's notice. Keep your shank sharp. And you see I got mine right back there. I'm ready to go. I went and had me a poster made. Well, it's a canvas. And like and subscribe. And I thank you for watching. And respond to this video in the comment section. Y'all have a good day.